Picture this. You're mid-joke with friends, totally relaxed, when suddenly a sharp, biting pain strikes right in the middle of your chest. Your breath catches. For a split second, your brain jumps to the absolute worst-case scenario. You wonder if your heart is stopping right then and there. The reason we panic is simple geography. We tend to think of the entire area behind our ribs as just a single container for the heart. Because of that mental shortcut, any pain behind the breastbone feels like a direct threat to our life engine. But instead of letting that fear take over, you can apply a rapid triage system to decode what your body is actually trying to tell you. Surviving your own biology requires stepping back and running a quick mental checklist. Doing this lets you instantly tell the difference between a meaningless muscle twitch and a critical arterial blockage. Let's look at the actual anatomy. By stripping away the skin, we see a tight, overlapping network of ribs, intercostal muscles, lungs, and the esophagus, all wrapping around the heart. Any of these can send out distress signals. First up is precordial catch syndrome. This is a completely harmless, highly localized spasm of the nerves or muscles sitting on the outer edge of your ribcage, completely isolated from your actual heart. Then there is silent GERD. Because the esophagus runs directly behind the heart, stomach acids bubbling upward can radiate a deep heat and sharp pain that perfectly mimics a cardiac issue. A third imposter is a panic attack. When your brain gets overwhelmed by stress, it fires false danger signals downward, causing the entire muscular cage of your chest to contract sharply and painfully around your internal organs. If you are sitting completely still and suddenly feel a sharp, isolated pain, the vast majority of the time you are looking at one of these 3 false alarms. Knowing these imposters exists, but when the pain hits, you need a way to filter out the noise and verify what's happening in real time. That brings us to a 30-second physical self-test. This is a quick set of actions you can take right on the spot to eliminate external factors and isolate true internal threats. Start by pressing firmly on the spot that hurts, or try rolling your shoulders. True cardiac pain originates deep inside the body and is entirely unaffected by surface pressure. If touching or moving the area amplifies the pain, the issue is strictly in your muscles or bones. Next, take a very deep, sudden breath. If that rush of incoming air makes the stabbing sensation sharper, the problem is tied to your lungs expanding or your ribcage stretching rather than your heart muscle. Finally, track the time. A harmless nerve pinch typically vanishes in seconds. An actual cardiac event persists, escalating steadily over several minutes. If your symptoms align with those physical triggers, you are dealing with harmless biological noise. But if the pain remains steady and thick, regardless of how you move or breathe, the threat level escalates immediately. If the pain fails all those self-tests, we enter a completely different scenario. We are looking at a biological crisis where the arterial blood flow keeping the heart muscle alive is actively failing. The physical signs of this are distinct. Instead of a tiny, sharp sting, you feel a massive, heavy pressure, like an immense weight crushing your chest. This pain rarely stays localized. It travels, radiating out into your jaw, between your shoulder blades, or down your left arm. Your body also triggers secondary systemic alarms. You might find yourself suddenly gasping for air, unable to draw a full breath, while breaking out into a completely unexplainable cold sweat. Then there is a powerful psychological reflex. Medical professionals refer to it as a sense of impending doom. It is an overwhelming, hardwired instinct from deep within your nervous system, signaling that something is critically wrong. When these heavy, radiating symptoms hit, your self-triage is over. This is a systemic failure, and the only next step is immediate emergency medical intervention. The next time you feel a sudden twinge in your chest, you won't have to freeze in terror. You now have a mental filter to systematically analyze that signal. But rather than just reacting to these alarms, you can proactively maintain the machinery inside your chest cavity with some basic chemical upkeep. 2 major players here are magnesium and potassium. Keeping your levels of these minerals steady actively prevents the exact muscular and nerve spasms that trigger those terrifying false alarms in the first place. It is equally important to manage psychological stress, which physically tightens the chest muscles over time. And once you cross the age of 30, getting routine metabolic checkups for your cholesterol and blood sugar becomes a mandatory safety protocol. Building a healthy relationship with your body means learning to accurately decode its language. You listen carefully enough to catch every genuine call for help while refusing to be held hostage by a meaningless muscle spasm.